3.5 months to go for the biggest prize in international cricket, the Cricket World Cup, and finally, after a lot of delay, we have the full schedule. You've already seen various updates on the schedule of the World Cup, India matches, crucial matches, whether semis are going to be, whether final is going to be. But what we're going to talk about here is the scheduling, in particular, how is India's scheduling going to impact India's performance in the World Cup, maybe do a few predictions of semi-finalists, but also look at how Pakistan is going to be approaching this World Cup and their matches and the venues that they have been given. But let's start with where India stand at the moment. Their first game is going to be up against the mighty Australia, unarguably the most successful team in World Cup history. India start with that, though the World Cup starts with a bang. I don't think there could have been a better match than a repeat of last year's 2019 finalists, that is England versus New Zealand. So they start things off on the 5th, but then India's first match is on the 8th in Chennai versus Australia. After that, I think they play Afghanistan, one of the game, and then the big game, Pakistan. So now there are two schools of thought, and we can go across the room and everyone can chip in with their. If you are India, if you are Rohit Sharma, what is it that you would prefer? You would want, okay, let's start with a bang, let's have Australia, let's have Pakistan, we come in fresh with our plans, beat them, and then be set for the tournament. Or you are thinking, nahi, tournament's always good, start with a qualifier, you play Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, a qualifier here and there, get warmed up, get your combinations right, and then you should come up against a Pakistan or Australia. So let's go across.
I'll take it.
You'd prefer this or you'd prefer that?
I will take it. In case you win the game, you have a set momentum. Now that you've beaten a team that was pre-tournament favorite, Australia, I think I'll take it, because going by what happened in 2019, I think a team of the last team that made it to the semi-finals was New Zealand, and they had 5 wins under their belt, and one was a washout, and they were better on net run rate compared to Pakistan. So they made it to the semi-finals. So which means if in case I win that game, I'll become a tournament favorite myself. I'll take it. The negative side is in case you lose 2 of the first 3 games.
Exactly.
Which happened in 2021 T20 World Cup.
Yeah, then you lost 2 of the first 2. It was worse.
Yeah. So, but I'll still take it.
In Dubai, when you were playing the T20 World Cup, you got your tough games. And then you got the easy ones where you got the hundreds, all your players got your hundreds.
I can look at the negative. I can look at the negative side, but I would prefer to look at the positive side.
No, you are Rohit Sharma. What are you thinking right now?
I'll take it.
No, you have to take it. No option. But what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Nahi,
and also that game
tough ho gaya. Ye tough ho gaya. Or you are saying nahi, yehi chahiye tha mujhe.
Nahi, ye to given a choice, I think I'll take it.
You are saying yehi chahiye tha.
What in case I win that game, monkeys off my back, and
I'm sure the Indian players would have wanted a schedule that has just been released. I'm sure this won't have come out without their approval.
The players can have say,
of course,
in how India.
Of course, the coach, the captain, everybody would have. Maybe they would have discussed amongst themselves. How do you start the tournament? Where do you want to play? Which team? More than Australia, I'm worried about Afghanistan actually. Australia, again, you win, you lose. That's fine. Good game, cracking game, tough opposition. It's Afghanistan that I'm worried about, because Afghanistan as your second team, more than Pakistan as your third team. If India somehow do not win the first game, India, knowing the kind of team that we are now, will be very, very tentative going into the Afghanistan game. Not that Afghanistan is going to beat you, but they may be very tentative. I remember the last World Cup in England, the Southampton game. You barely won that game because you were very, very tentative. Even though you had beaten all the teams, you'd beaten South Africa, you'd beaten Australia, Pakistan, and against Afghanistan, you were very tentative. So Afghanistan, I'm worried about. Running into them the second game, because that will also spiral onto the third game. which is Pakistan. Pakistan are easiest to play in the first half of a major tournament. The moment they're alive in the second half of the tournament, they're very dangerous.
So that's got more to do with Pakistan and India. you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's their nature. That they wake up late.
So in the end, 2019, you go back, you had a tough first game, South Africa, you beat them. You had a tough game against Australia, you beat them. New Zealand was rained off, and you had a tough game against Pakistan, you won. So the first three major teams you beat. And then, you were on a roll and one bad day and you lost. In India, the pressure will be more on the Indians. When there'll be 1 lakh supporters cheering for Team India in Ahmedabad, remember, they'll also be putting pressure on your players. Pakistan may go into that game with not much to expect. And that could be their biggest asset.
Achha, you not answered. Are you happy? Are you happy at the moment? If you're an Indian team, you have said that there could be that banana peel game against Afghanistan, Pakistan. You're better off playing against them earlier than later. Though again, T20 World Cup example that he gave, you got them early and they beat you initially. But you have not answered. Are you, if you're an Indian team, happy with the first 3-4 matches as you see it, or you're saying nahi, thoda idhar udhar?
The question doesn't arise of the Indian team being happy or not. I think they got what they wanted.
So they are happy. Then
Of
obviously.
course, they would have
But
wanted.
why would they have wanted this? Have a banana peel game versus.
See, that is the difference between you,
Aust-
who's not played a World Cup, and them, who are playing the World Cup.
Take that point. You took out those points.
And
you
I
said that
I think that
Afghanistan is dangerous. Australia you can lose.
And I think India has to figure out where those 6 wins will come from if they have to make it to the semi-finals. Because last 2019 World Cup, New Zealand with 5 wins under their belt made it to the semi-finals. They had a washout also,
Yeah.
and even Pakistan also had they also had a washout if I remember correctly.
yeah.
So India just has to figure out 6 wins. So Australia, even if
So 2 qualifiers.
yeah.
Huh?
So and that and also in 2021 the T20 World Cup, I think it was they were divided
groups,
they
yeah.
were divided into 2 groups. Here you have enough number of games so that it might just boil down to the last 2 games or last 3 games where India is playing against 2 qualifiers out of those 3 games. In between them they play South Africa. So I think here, and you compare it to Pakistan, first 2 games against qualifiers.
The one positive that I will look at if I'm an Indian team member, which I'm not, because I've not played at the World Cup level, is that
Just that you play for blue team doesn't mean that you.
yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
You're a
But I'm
man
saying
in
the
blue.
advantage is that they get to, let's say the tougher games are done and let's say some results don't go according to their way. We're also pretty used to Indian team being in a situation where net run rate and all that come into play, and towards the latter half at the end, you're also playing qualifiers. So if it's a game where you need to win in 35 overs, 40 overs, you very well could do it because it will give you that advantage at the end. So that's
And
a
the
positive way
qualifiers
of.
would be most likely against Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka. No
Yeah.
pushovers. Huh?
But nobody would have been a pushover. Had West Indies come in also. But
If West Indies play the way they are now, then they're very much pushovers. Somehow they make it to the World Cup.
well, Sri Lanka in Indian conditions. Yeah, not.
Would be a challenge.
What do you guys make out?
You go first.
Okay, I think I'd be very, if I was Rohit Sharma,
Huh.
I'd be very happy with this because you're getting the
Because
big.
you asked for it, so you got what you wanted.
That's true.
Huh.
But then also because you're getting these teams right off the bat, right? The big teams, Australia, and I'd much rather take them on in the very beginning of the tournament than have a in momentum Australia or an in momentum England, because that would be
No, because Indian sometimes takes time to figure out their playing combination. what they
right.
need to. So
But
good.
There
that-
could be some
that
injury
shouldn't
concerns
be-
also. Players might just be
Some.
recovering.
Or some may have just come for the World Cup, just ready, so you would want to have seen them a few games.
Yeah.
All of that is not going to happen.
But that shouldn't happen. That's a different thing. But
But you're positive. You like
yes,
this.
I
So
like
in a
this.
big tournament, you always need to start well, and then if at all you dip, you peak at the right moment.
Right.
Semi-finals for us.
Oh yeah, always.
See, semi-finals again is not the right case study because you've not peaked at the right moment then, since 2013.
That's
So
what
you've
I'm
lagged it.
I hope we can beat
you've-
by
No,
seven.
no,
You-
we peaked the 2017.
And let me tell you, the noise will only get louder. That the Indians cannot do well in a knockout game, and the noise will not just be the outside noise. I think this noise will also now be within your dressing room, because the moment you start having self doubts, can we do it? Can we not do it? That is the problem area, and I think I don't know. I will pick India in the top 4, definitely. India, England, Australia, Pakistan, not necessarily in that order. But again, you know, as an Indian fan, you would say semi-final is just one big game away, and then the final, you know, one good day. You never know. But this, I think, is now a mental barrier for the Indians, crossing that first knockout hurdle. And I have a show now, so I'll see you in a while.
Okay, we'll continue. No problem. Since he touched upon that, so we can spend some time. Let's have our top 4. Maybe. Oh no, did you answer the Rohit Sharma?
No, I didn't
Sorry.
actually. So actually, it's a simple answer. I think it doesn't matter. You can actually take that one. I don't think it matters because you're playing all teams in the group stage. It's not like, say, I don't know, FIFA World Cup where you know there's 32 teams and you're being drawn into a group of 4, where you're only taking on 3 teams, or even like say the T20 World Cup where it's split in half and you know, okay, you've missed out on these so and so big teams. You might have 2 big teams. Here you're playing everyone. So whether they come now, later, just take on the challenge, go for it. Doesn't really matter.
Eventually, I think it will depend on the result.
Well, it depends on where you are in the latter
win against
stages.
Australia, you'll say, good call, good call.
I agree. That will be hindsight, na? That the
Yes.
tougher bit is to say now. That's how I was trying to put myself, and I'll be honest. If I'm an Indian player, I'm like, you know, let me get into the groove. Let me get a few easy games. Then once I'm in my groove, I know my playing combination. I know what the conditions are. Of course, yeah, you're playing at home, but that time of the year, what will happen? All of that. Though you would have played a few bilateral series, I agree all of that. But
And
World Cup
warm-ups.
is World Cup. You know, complete different pressure. I would have just gotten. I also feel sometimes India takes time for that engine to start.
Diesel engine.
If you haven't figured out your 11, or you know,
But
by
that never you figure out.
No, by-
but then plans change now middle of the
no,
tournament.
I'm assuming
Injuries
someone
happen.
gets injured.
the Asia Cup. I'm assuming Asia Cup, you will play your full strength
Yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
The first 11.
No, unless the
Somebody's-
somebody's not. fit.
Somebody is
And
not
as of
recovered.
now, neither KL Rahul nor Shreyas Iyer are set to make it to the Asia Cup. So
Yeah.
Also, but don't you think if you know, we start off with a few easy games, India kind of tends to get lenient.
false sense of security.
No, I don't know. That's my feeling, but it could be right. As I said, it's glass half full, glass half empty sort of a
Yes.
situation. Anyway, coming back to 4 semi-finalists. So before Vikrant left, he had picked his 4: India, Pakistan, Australia, England. Right?
Yeah.
I say India, England, Australia, and New Zealand. No, don't pick Pakistan. Somehow I think New Zealand will do something. They always do.
Yeah, I think Australia, England. I'm calling in England Australia final.
Ready?
Yeah, I think
That's an easy call. in all
Pretty
fairness.
telling at this point, the way they're playing. And New Zealand and India.
New Zealand, I think this time they look a weaker side. They
We
don't
say
have
that
a,
every.
We say that
No,
every
no, I'll tell
year.
you why.
Every-
They don't have a Kane Williamson, and we don't even know
No,
if
he might be fit by the time. No.
I have my
He's
doubts.
aiming for it, but it's
I
touch
have
and
my
go.
doubts. Bracewell, who on his last
Brace
tour,
for it. You are saying.
on
brace.
his last tour of India
was
did
really good.
pretty well, but I think he is also
Unfit, yeah.
he is also not
Ruled
going
out.
to make it. I think they have some issues. I think New Zealand might just struggle this time. They've got a very good team. They have a team that usually, especially in the ICC tournaments, they're known to punch above their weight. But I think this time, I'll if you ask me, Australia, England, India, 4th, I will put Pakistan slightly ahead. Although I want to keep that 4th team slot spot still open, but I think Pakistan might be a little ahead of South Africa, New Zealand.
I was just going to say nobody's picked South Africa.
Hey, history goes against them, unfortunately.
No, it's not just history. I think this South African team
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah,
They actually do have some good players. Makram
might
Miller.
come to the party.
Makram Miller in the
Then
middle order.
Klaassen, yeah, on Indian conditions and
Nortje.
spinning tracks.
Nokia, Temba.
Nokia.
Cheers, bowling well.
Yeah.
Temba is actually a decent player in ODIs. Let's be fair to him.
Let's hope
I
they
don't
win
know.
the World Cup then.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know,
hope
of course
they win.
not.
I'm just saying.
No,
Again, a dangerous team.
Very much possible. You never know. Maybe Sri Lanka is the one who will make it to the last four.
Could.
No, you're right. It's just a guesswork.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, never know.
I cannot. My first team I'm going to pick is Australia. I think it's very
Yes.
tough to look
Yes.
beyond
Yes.
Australia at the moment.
Yes.
With everyone else, I can still be 50-50. Even England,
Yes.
sometimes the
I agree.
patchy form. If Butler is not firing, if Stokes is not firing, the big gun. Harry Brook, we saw what he did in the
There's no
IPL.
Stokes in ODI
The
anyway.
likes of Brooks. Harry Brooks.
So again, I'm not that good, but Australia, I think gun side.
Yeah.
So they are my number one pick. Then I think the next year is going to be England and
India. Yeah.
And the next round I'm going to put Pakistan, South Africa somewhere there. You never know. Any one of them could go through. So
I agree.
I think we'll get a better idea once these teams start playing some ODI cricket now.
Yes.
Leading up to the
Australia
World Cup.
certainly they are
Cut above.
yeah.
Some other level.
Yeah, and then comes the English team.
Yes.
I think Australia is, they've got a very good balanced team for these conditions. They've got options. For every player, every position, they have options. Now India, for example, if if one of the two, KL Rahul or Shreyas Iyer is not available, do you have options? You are looking at Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan. How many games have you tried them in? And Ishan Kishan, whatever runs that he scored recently, he scored in the top order.
As an opener.
So you are looking for somebody who's going to fill up that place. So Bumrah's injury, we don't know. There is no update. Just that every day we get a message or sources have told that he's recovering well. Beyond expectations. Everybody is recovering so well that you didn't expect them to recover so quickly.
Yeah.
So that's all. And also I think the Indian players, some of these players, I think you were the one who mentioned that some of these senior players, they are also they also realize that they are this could be possibly their last World Cup, and also never know.
Yes.
For a lot of these players could be their last
India appearance.
Exactly. At least in one format, because ODIs you're hardly going to play those many ODIs from or in the
November
next,
onwards.
in next one.
Plus, it could happen both ways. So, for example, if India win, also it could be a good occasion for a few players to say last game. If India don't do well, then maybe this will not be a call that they'll take. Somebody else will take the call for.
Rahul Dravid can his contract? Can they renew his contract? That will depend on the result of this tournament.
And I don't know whether Rahul Dravid, let's say whatever the result, knowing him a bit, assuming let's say India do well and you want to renew, maybe he may not want to renew also. There's also possibility.
I think the bigger possibility, firstly he'll have to win the World Cup for all these things to come to some conclusion, and then you are looking at a possible selector also. 30th June, I think not more or less, there is a strong possibility that Ajit Agarkar might be interested and might take up that job, and for him I think they can increase the salary cap also from 1 crore, which is the existing one. They can raise that salary cap to say 2.5 crores anyways. So whoever you get as your chief selector, next 4 months, Rahul Dravid will call the shots. Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma will call the shots, because for them it is their job on the line. They will be given everything that they ask for. So irrespective of whoever comes in as the chief selector, whether it is Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Chetan Sharma, or
some
Ajit Agarkar,
83 winners also.
yeah. So a lot depends. A lot depends on this World Cup.
Yeah. What about Pakistan now? The other bit is about Pakistan. They wanted reportedly few changes to their venues. They didn't want to play Afghanistan on a spin-friendly track. All those things have not been accommodated.
At all.
But I think the biggest issue or the reservation that they had, I think that has been addressed.
I thought there was another reservation that not playing India in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad, which didn't get addressed
Yes.
either.
So 2 issues have not.
No, 3 actually, because there were 2 other venue changes they wanted. One was Australia,
Chennai.
and the other
But
was
Chennai was Afghanistan, no? Was
Yeah.
it?
and Afghanistan. They wanted also the
That
venue
was
change.
Chennai.
So 2 of them, and
Australia they didn't.
I think they wanted Australia and Bangalore.
But is this something that happens that you can just come in and request?
No.
No, you
change
can't.
There was
our
only
venue,
two.
change
So
our-
basically, what usually happens is, so BCCI or the host, the board
Hosting.
that is hosting the tournament, so they send a draft proposal to the ICC, and then
Right.
ICC can send it out to all the participating boards if you have any issues, but you have to come up with some valid
Legit reason.
Exactly. So some issue, if you have a valid reason, then you can.
It can't be a cricketing reason.
No, there's only 2 reasons allowed. One
Because see,
is
Mumbai, they have
Security.
they have history,
You're
and they
right.
can always say that this is what happened the last time we were here, and so there are issues, and we feel that security could be an issue. So that I think they've got in Kolkata, and Kolkata you'll possibly, but I'm
They've
just
had a good record also in
yeah,
Kolkata.
I'm just worried about the due factor. That could be a
That will be
lottery.
there
That
throughout
could be a
the-
throughout
lottery.
the World Cup now.
But I think they're starting the games early, night 11.
No. 2 p.m.
2 p.m. is
and
the
the day
night.
matches are starting at 10:30.
Yeah.
The day matches at 10.
But 10:30 is not an issue. I think the day night game, which will start at
But
2,
that 2 could have been 12, yeah.
that 2 could have been 12, so I have my doubts.
No, because day and night if you want that. So,
Proper night.
winter times, 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Five.
So
And
you'll get some
see,
sort of
North
game.
India, Delhi, Lucknow, Dharamshala are the 3 hosts. 110%, there will be a huge due factor.
Yeah.
Even
Absolutely.
east,
Then
Kolkata.
Chennai, next to sea.
Yeah.
Kolkata, next to
to
sea.
sea.
Mumbai, next
to
to
sea.
sea. Again, you will have due.
Yeah.
So, it could be a lottery. We are saying that it's good for, we might be assuming that, we've got a very good schedule, and suddenly you realize that, you are losing toss after toss after toss.
True.
Yeah.
And you lose first 3 games, as Nikhil pointed out. What if you lose toss in those first 3 games?
Yeah.
Then what happens? Australia will not give you a chance to come back,
Never.
especially if they are chasing and they know that the conditions are so favorable while chasing,
Yeah,
while batting second.
And worse for the bowling side. So double-edged sword.
So it.
We remember how they chased down against India in, I think, Visakhapatnam, was it?
Yeah,
In the ODI series where Head and Marsh just went.
last 2 ODI series, so they won here, no?
Yeah.
Correct.
So I think toss could be a lottery, especially towards the end. I think that is where, how should I take it? You're playing the qualifiers. There you can still compensate, because I don't think, again, maybe what they thought that against the qualifiers toss may not be a huge factor, because that's the would be around close to mid-November.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would be in the in the first half of the tournament, especially in October. The tournament starts on
5th of October.
5th of October, so I don't know how much dew will there be.
No, it will start from October.
No, once it starts getting cooler, at least hints of it, if not.
And west and east get cooler earlier than north.
Because of the retrieving monsoons.
No, also the winters come,
Yes,
like
a
their
lot, sorry.
monsoons come early, the
Yeah.
winters come early, all of that, there are about a month ahead in all other seasons that we encounter. So,
There also must be a reason why Indian management vouched for these venues, right? We're talking about due, but
but okay, tell me, for example, Mohali is not a venue. How much difference will it be between Delhi and Mohali?
True. To management,
There is-
it also depends on the associations.
But it's a
State
big miss.
associations.
Jaipur also.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying, one of those traditional venues which always got big games, have an IPL team out of that, one of your big centers also hasn't got a game. And so that even the state of Kerala hasn't got a game. They've got a warm-up game,
Hmm.
which is
Thiruvananthapuram, yeah.
Thiruvananthapuram has got a warm-up game, but not a regular game.
No regular game.
So that's a
And-
bit surprising.
It depends on the state associations also,
But
because
there are 10 venues which you divided the 48 games. You could have made it 12 venues, 13 venues. How does it matter?
maybe
One
they
game
didn't
less.
want, they didn't want to give it to Mohali.
Why not?
As simple as that.
If a world, I don't know.
Otherwise, you tell me one good reason why they
don't-
left out Mohali.
Oh, by the way, we're talking about now. Dharamshala has got it.
Yes.
Exactly.
So why not a Mohali?
Yeah.
Why not a Jaipur?
Maybe
Why not a stadium in Kerala?
and for Mohali, maybe it could be because it wouldn't accommodate a lot of people.
Dharamshala it has
Dharamshala.
a better
Dharamshala?
capacity
I
than
don't
Dharamshala. I think
I'm
has
just pointing out the
Dharamshala.
inconsistency.
I think Mohali
Yeah.
is 27-32.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
By the way, Delhi is also
That's small.
Same.
Yeah, yeah.
Same. Dharamshala, I think, would be a little
Less.
less than what
Yeah.
these two venues get.
So see, why has Mohali not
What are
got?
we
Why
doing?
Jaipur had more? Jaipur can accommodate more.
Yeah.
After their refurbishment.
Yeah.
They are a big stadium now. They haven't got. Pretty surprising. I mean, with 48 games, 10 venues, you could have made it 12, 13 venues.
Maybe they didn't want
Arey,
to
you-
fly as much.
Yeah,
You are flying anyway from Dharamshala.
Exactly. You're flying all the
nothing,
time.
nothing
thinking of
wrong,
reasons.
nothing wrong in giving games to the ones who got it. For
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pune,
I'm not saying
Hyderabad.
take it away from them.
You know, you've given it to Pune, you've given it to Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Dharamshala, I can
Dharamshala,
still
yeah.
understand. You know, the sports minister also comes from Dharamshala, and Dharamshala, as in Himachal, your IPL governing council
Also, you have to
chairman.
be somebody who comes from somewhere to get.
No, see,
Maybe
Nikhil,
nobody comes from
you know
Mohali.
it. Let's not let's because you know we know Anurag Thakur. He has himself been associated with BCCI in the past. Right now, he's a cabinet minister and is also the sports minister. Forget about that. Arun Dhumal, his brother, is right now the IPL chairman and was also the treasurer with the BCCI in the last regime or the same regime.
Just a different
tenure.
position.
Tenure should be
Yeah.
the right word. So that's why. So I'm thinking Pune, Hyderabad, and one more city. Pune, Hyderabad. There are a few more state associations, which I'm a bit surprised though.
That they got.
Yeah, and Mohali is a legacy ground. To be very honest,
Yes,
it
absolutely.
has
So is Sawai Mansingh.
yeah,
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
it has legacy associated. Anyways, now what's done is
Kochi
done.
had such great matches.
Arey, you could have given it to Guwahati.
Guwahati has got a warm-up match.
Mohali has not got a.
Not even a warm-up match. Thiruvananthapuram.
Guwahati, see, I'll agree with Guwahati even
Why
if
is
they had
that?
given a regular match. I'll tell you why. You're also saying you're trying to take the game all parts of the
Arey,
country.
the IPL is
So
happening
Northeast,
there.
yes.
Rajasthan.
Exactly.
Riyan
So
Parag
North-
comes from.
So
that-
Northeast also gets a game, no problem. As I said, there is no shortage of games. There are 48 games. Instead of giving 4 to each venue
Could have given
or
3.
some 5,
I think Hyderabad is
and give one or
hosting
two.
a few Pakistan games also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
so is
Pakistan are
Pune.
playing the fewest in the number of venues. They're playing only 5 of the 10.
Anyways, how does it matter? You have
they're
to
playing
play
in Pune.
Pakistan. I think
We
Pune,
need to know
Hyderabad.
that it's just 2 hours from Bombay. The Scenics can reach there also. No, they dug up the pitch now. Last
Ah,
Yeah.
time it happened. So can reach.
You are from
In fact,
Pune.
there's a major presence of Shiv Sena in Pune. I'd say.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe Pakistan doesn't know.
Possible.
They already said they don't want to play the final in Ahmedabad as if they were.
But now they are anyway playing India versus.
Yeah.
They didn't want to play against India in Ahmedabad either. That didn't.
Yeah, that they didn't want to play. Final though, you'll have to play.
Whatever.
So one-
At the, in the words of BCCI secretary, at the biggest sporting stadium in the world, not cricketing.
Okay.
Hmm.
Is it?
He's just said it at
135.
the launch.
How much is it? 135?
130, na?
130.
Mm.
Is it the biggest?
I don't know.
If
He
I'm
said
not
it, so it
wrong,
must be right.
if I'm not
There
wrong,
was that Mexican stadium, which is the
Azteca.
Azteca, but now they've apparently now they've reduced the.
No, for that matter, the same happened to even
Eden.
Wembley,
Eden.
Eden Garden, or for that matter, Maracana
MCG.
Maracana.
was also could accommodate.
Maracana, I've
Maracana.
seen a match, so.
Was it
I
14
think it was 16
Olympics.
final,
correct?
Brazil, Germany.
Oh, that was when they won the
Revenge.
match. Yeah,
Revenge
revenge.
match.
I remember.
What is the
Neymar scored
official capacity of Narendra Modi Stadium?
1.3.
130. Yeah.
Then though it has to be.
No, I'm sure the Wembley Stadium and all would have. Well, I'll
No
check. We'll have to
chance.
No,
check.
no, you. If
I'll be full London.
if
will
the
have to
board
fill.
secretary is saying, then it has to be true.
Yeah.
No.
There.
Oh,
There you go.
it is proven.
132.
See.
Next is
North Korea.
114 in North Korea.
Pyongyang.
Then Michigan Stadium.
Most of them actually in America, they do have a
Aztec
habit.
Yeah.
is reduced. Now they it used to be, but then they, because you know those days they had benches
Standing,
and standing also. Yeah. Now got
Now it's only seated. So you know,
MCG
reduce.
is also there.
Yeah.
Way
America,
behind.
all in America.
Ha. Number one is, but
जीतेगा तो इंडिया ही.
so there the final though will have to
It will
Right.
have to be a
the
100%.
biggest sporting stadium in the world.
Hey, अच्छा. Wait. Stadium capacity, city, country, region. As a South Asia, I read South Africa. Anyways, that's it.
Sorry, we couldn't take any of your comments today because we are in a hurry. We have a TV show also to do. So for the moment, from all of us, bye bye, take care. There's game 2 of STPL coming your way. If it doesn't rain shortly, you know where to catch that. Until tomorrow then, from all of us,
Goodbye.
bye bye.
Bye bye.